Was that the toys? How's Stinky Butt?
Oh, I'm slipping away, so don't let me go, nah, 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 nah. I'm all up in that love haze, so where do we go?
Hi, welcome to another week of Mama and Minnie with Shola and Iman. This week we're doing a kind of personal video where I'm talking about the most difficult aspects of being a mom to me. So of course we all love our little ones to death. Nobody is disputing that. However, people always show the picture perfect, beautiful sides of being a mom. If you're into social media like me, then you always see the picture perfect moms who have everything together, who have the beautiful pictures on Instagram, and who look like they can do no wrong. And I hope that your experience is like that, but it's probably not. So if it's not, you oftentimes don't see people talk about the hard part. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to talk about some of the hardest parts for me, and hopefully some of you can relate. Also, this is one video where I'm really requesting your feedback, because all of our moms out there, if you know some coping techniques or things that help with these type of things, then please let me know. I'm always looking for new things to try. Okay, so one of the difficult parts of having a baby to me, being a first time mom and a new mom, was breastfeeding. I've done a video about this before, but breastfeeding is not as easy as it seems. You would think it's a natural way, so it's easy. We had problems latching. When she first was born, of course, they put her right on the breast because they wanted to get her ready to breastfeed, and that went well. But then, even at my hospital stay, she was having problems latching. She didn't want to latch, and I had to end up pumping even while I was in the hospital. And when I was pumping, I wasn't getting enough milk as I wanted. I was really worried about my milk coming in because, like I said in my video, for the first few days, just colostrum, which is not real milk yet, only comes in. And then your milk comes in after a couple of days. I was very nervous that my milk wasn't coming in. I was hearing about how my baby needs to eat a lot and stuff like that, and how the little bit of milk I was producing wasn't enough for her. And it was very, very stressful. A pumping schedule, breastfeeding can be very, very stressful. I had to pump and breastfeed her about every hour and a half to get my supply up, which is super tiring. And you think, oh, look at this pump. They have an electrical pump for you to pump your breast. It's so easy and this, that, and the other. However, it's not. Your milk supply goes up, it goes down. Sometimes you overproduce, sometimes you underproduce. And it's very tiring sitting there strapped to the machine hour after hour. Also, you might not even be able to be strapped to the machine peacefully. I was lucky in that I had Al there, so he would watch her when I had to pump. But some people are single moms, and so when your baby's fussing and crying and they're not latching on, you have to pump milk for them. But who's going to watch the baby while you're doing that? So if they're cranky, then that could cause even more stress. So that's one of the harder things about being a mom to me. Another hard part of being a new mom, which lots of people already know about, is lack of sleep. Of course, when your baby first comes home, they're waking up throughout the night. Iman woke up every single hour during the first few nights, so you're getting lack of sleep. That was the tiredest I've ever been in my life. I was lucky also in this because I had my mom and my mom-in-law here, and they each took a night where they took the baby for the whole night, and I got to have sleep. So that was extremely helpful. You want to tell what's the hardest parts of being a baby? But even when you do get sleep, it's not a good sleep. I felt like I have not had a good sleep since she was born, just because I'm always nervous about her. Did I wrap the blanket tight enough? Is she okay? She co-sleeps with us sometimes, and other times she sleeps in a rocking chair that she has. So when she's co-sleeping, then I can't get a good sleep because I'm sleeping still and not moving and worried about her the whole night. When she's in the rocking chair, I wake up tons of times to check her blanket, make sure it's okay. When I lay her down in the rocking chair, I stay staring at her for an extra 20 minutes before I go to sleep, just to make sure that she's fine. So yeah, and also she wakes up during the night several times to feed. Now we're kind of down to one time a night, which is good, but in the beginning she was waking up multiple times a night to feed, even after she was waking up every hour. And so I haven't got a really decent sleep, I feel like. And that takes its toll because you're always tired. And my mom always tells me, relax, she's gonna be fine, go to sleep. But it's hard to do when it's your first baby and you're nervous. Another difficult part about being a mom is feeling guilty because, well, at least for me, I would feel guilty because I would just be home all day with the baby and couldn't get all the stuff done that I want to do. I want to clean and get things done. Even now when I'm trying to run some businesses, start some businesses and take care of her, I can't get everything done that I need to get done in a day. It's really a self-guilt because no one is making you feel like, well, if you're lucky, no one's making you feel like you're not doing anything. But I do feel like I could be doing more if I was just more efficient, manage my time better, had it all together like the Instagram moms. So that's another thing that's really hard, is just trying to get things done in a day. I really can't, as you can see, she doesn't like me to do anything else when she's awake besides pay attention to her. So I really can't get that much done when she's awake. And when she is asleep, then I'm rushing to try to do everything that I can do. And that's made it harder when people wake up your baby. So, which happens a lot because we live in a house with a bunch of people and you just can't control that all the time. Which leads me into the next thing, which is hard about being a mom. Just watching someone else 24/7 can be very hard. As a first-time mom and a young mom, I'm not used to having to care for someone else besides myself literally every hour of every day. I love it, don't get me wrong, I love my baby girl, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, but it is something to get used to, trying to take care of someone else all of the time. I have a new appreciation for my parents, trust me, because it's hard. And that's the other thing, when you, even when they're sleeping, it's always somebody on your mind all the time that's not you. And when they are sleeping and you try to get 2 seconds, but they might not sleep that long, so you don't get that much of a break, so that's hard. As you see, they demand attention. One thing that can help with when you feel like you don't get enough done in a day, set realistic goals. When you wake up in the morning, say, these are the 3 or 4 things that I would like to get done. And this is the one thing that I'm most definitely going to get done. Make sure it's realistic. And that way when you get it done, you feel good. And if you do more than that, you feel great. Just optimize your time and make sure you set realistic goals. And if you don't get anything done, don't beat yourself up too much. Another hard part about being a mom, at least for me, was things not going according to plan. I am a planner. I like to say what's going to get done and get it done. However, when you have a baby, things are not going to go as planned, especially when you're not the only force involved in raising and taking care of that baby. Sometimes you're just too tired and things just don't go your way. When she first was born, like I said, she had latching problems, so I had to supplement with formula in order for her to get the nutrients that she needed because she was small and she needed to gain weight. I did not like it. I felt so guilty as a mom. I wanted her to be breastfed. I always said I was going to breastfeed my babies 100%, but it couldn't happen. So that was one thing that was hard. I had a bunch of plans of how I wanted to raise my kids, all organics, all be breastfed, this, that, and the other, but it's hard. You have to go with the flow, right? Which is hard, and you feel very guilty when things don't, like me and the formula. But try not to beat yourself up, mom. You do the best that you can do, and when you do the best that you can do, that's amazing right there. So that's hard for me to learn. It's hard for me to remember. But you're turning out okay, right? It's still early, but you seem to be alright. Speaking of breastfeeding, as I have to do in so many videos, I have to stick around the breast right fast. Another difficult thing about being a new mom, especially I feel like, well, really at any point in your life if you're a mom, is your changing body. You see all these snapbacks on Instagram and it looks like people snap back in 2 weeks, a month, but that is not the case for everybody. I'm 5 months postpartum and my body still is not where I want it to be. Like I said, it's hard getting all the things done you want to in a day, and I don't really have time to work out all the time. So that's another difficult thing because obviously I want to look how I want to look. I'd like to have my old body back and I'd like to be slim again, but I have to also remind myself that it took almost 10 months to make a baby and you're not going to go back to looking regular in a month or 2. Do what you can. I've found new workouts that incorporate the baby in my workout, so that's good. That's made me feel better about myself and it makes me feel like I'm doing things in my day and working towards something. And I have started to slim down. So don't feel too bad about your body. Know that everything takes time, everything is a process. And if you work at it on your own pace, you will get back on how you used to look. Finally, the last thing that's really hard for me as a new mom is suffering from mom guilt. You feel guilty about if you're doing things right, if you're being the best mother you can be. I also feel guilty about when I do actually take time for myself. I'm lucky that Al's family is here, so sometimes they take Iman so we can go on a little date, or so that we can just get a little break every once in a while. However, even though that time is much needed, I do still feel guilty. I feel like I should be watching my daughter. I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing by not being with her for that time. And Al's really great about reminding me that everyone needs a break, you need a balance, and it's healthy for you to have a little bit of separation just so you don't become crazy. So moms, take your time. Don't feel guilty. If your family wants to take the baby for a while, trust that they really do want to take the baby. Everyone loves babies. And take time for yourself, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to keep your sanity. It's really hard for me, but I've learned I have to do it from time to time. Don't have to go overboard with it, but from time to time I do have to get away from her for an hour or two, let her spend time with her family members, let me get a little break, because otherwise it can get very overwhelming and you don't want to be suffering from postpartum stress that you bring on yourself if you can help it. Whenever I feel like I need a breather for a second, when I put her down for her nap, I'll sometimes listen to music. Even if I have things to do, I'll just lay on the bed and take a couple of minutes. Or even more than that if you need. Watch a TV show, listen to music, take a nap. But whenever you do get your time, try to take a breather, because being a new mom could be very stressful. It could be very overwhelming at times. Your life has done a completely different change. My life was nowhere near like this a year ago. And you have to get used to it. So don't feel bad about taking your time. Like I said, this is a place where I want to learn from y'all, as well as have y'all learn from me, hopefully. So if you have anything that can help with any of these feelings, please let me know. I'm open to all suggestions. Just remember that there are good days and there are bad days. There's some days when everything is great and wonderful and goes according to plan. There's other days where you just need to take a step back. Don't feel bad about that. Try to find friends or people who have gone through the same thing, because also just talking and having discussion is good to help. I'm open to hear anyone's story. If anyone wants to DM me, I would really welcome that. So this was kind of a personal, shorter video, but a lot of people had asked for it, so here it is. Let me know if you like it, or let me know if I need to go back to what I was doing before and just stick with that. If you like what you see, please subscribe to Mama and Minnie. Please subscribe, and make sure you hit the little bell that's next to subscribe so you get our post notifications and see when we put a video up, which is every Monday for Mama Mondays and Mini Crush Mondays. Thanks. See y'all next week.